Why did ancient people sleep twice a night? A deep dive into a forgotten sleep habit. You know how we always think of sleep as one solid block: go to bed at 11, wake up at 7, and that's normal. What if I told you that, for most of human history, this wasn't how people slept at all? In fact, the idea of sleeping in a single, uninterrupted stretch might be the modern anomaly, not the norm today. We're diving into one of the most fascinating, least talked about facts of ancient human behavior: segmented sleep. Yes, our ancestors routinely slept in two distinct phases every night. And no, it wasn't because they were stressed or had insomnia. It was completely intentional in many ways. It made perfect sense for the kind of lives they lived. Let's break this down. 1. What was segmented sleep? Segmented sleep, also called biphasic sleep, refers to a pattern where people slept for a few hours shortly after sunset, typically around 8 or 9 p.m., woke up in the middle of the night for an hour or two, and then went back to sleep until morning. This wasn't some niche cultural quirk. It's been documented in European diaries, medical texts, religious writings, and anthropological records across Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. In fact, before artificial lighting, this was just how people slept. So why did they wake up? What did they do at 2 a.m.? 2. What did people do during that wakeful gap? This is where things get really interesting. That window between the first sleep and second sleep wasn't a bug in their routine, it was a feature. People didn't treat it like an inconvenience, they used it. Here's how: reflection and spirituality. Many used this time for prayer, meditation, or contemplation. Monks often scheduled nightly prayers during this window. Some even believed it was the most sacred time to connect with the divine. Reading and writing. For those who were literate, it was common to read, write letters, or journal. Think of it like a calm, candlelit productivity session. Household chores. Some tended to animals, checked on food cooking in the hearth, or did other quiet tasks. Talking or more. Couples would talk, bond, or engage in intimate relations. In fact, several texts from the 16th to 18th centuries mention this period as the most ideal time for marital relations because people felt rested and relaxed. In other words, that 2 a.m. window was like the ancient version of your late night scroll session, but arguably healthier and more intentional. 3. Why did this sleep pattern disappear? The short answer: electricity. With the invention of artificial lighting, especially gas lamps, streetlights, and eventually the light bulb, our lives extended into the night. People could now work, socialize, and entertain themselves long after the sun went down. Sleep was pushed later, and eventually compressed into one long block. Add to that the Industrial Revolution, with its rigid work schedules and the rise of the 9 to 5, and suddenly, biphasic sleep no longer fit into the new productivity world. We were now expected to fall asleep at midnight, sleep for 7 to 8 hours straight, wake up refreshed, and report to work. 4. Is segmented sleep better? What does science say? Surprisingly, yes, there are benefits to this ancient rhythm. Sleep researchers have found that humans may be naturally wired for segmented sleep. When people are removed from artificial lighting and exposed only to natural light-dark cycles, they often revert to this pattern on their own. Furthermore, the period of wakefulness between the two sleep phases tends to be accompanied by calm, meditative brain states often associated with enhanced creativity and memory consolidation. Some scientists believe this gap may offer a mental reset, a way to process dreams and emotions. People practicing polyphasic or biphasic sleep today report improvements in clarity, mood, and energy. That said, it may not work for everyone in today's world. Social norms and job schedules make it difficult to implement. But for freelancers, creatives, or night owls, it's an intriguing alternative to the modern monophasic sleep model. 5. Lessons from the past. A more mindful night. So, what can we learn from this forgotten tradition? The main takeaway isn't that you should start setting an alarm for 2 a.m. just to be historically accurate. Instead, it's a reminder that our current sleep habits are shaped by culture and technology. not just biology. There's no single correct way to sleep. What's normal today wasn't always so. Maybe waking up at 3 a.m. sometimes doesn't mean something is wrong with you. Maybe your body is just echoing a rhythm it has known for thousands of years, and perhaps, just perhaps, we've lost something in compressing our nights into a single, uninterrupted block. That moment of quiet, of presence, of midnight pause, might be worth reclaiming in our own way. Final thoughts, as we rush through our modern lives. Obsessed with productivity and efficiency, maybe the ancient world has something to teach us, not just about sleep, but about pacing, stillness, and the value of giving our nights room to breathe. So the next time you wake up in the middle of the night, don't panic. Maybe you're just sleeping, the old-fashioned way.
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the latest update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.